Now, the woman of the moment, she's a grandma, she's 83 years of age, and she claims to have intimate relations 3 times a week. Why is that, Ruth?
Well, because she's addicted to dating apps.
She's addicted to more than that.
She says that she's never met a man who didn't want to sleep with her. You can hear her laughing now. There she is.
Which is why we've put her in a studio in New York to keep me safe. At this end. She's Hattie Retroage. And the reason you're called Retroage, Hattie, is you hate getting old, don't you?
Yes, I hated the concept of age. I don't hate growing old now because I changed the concept with the word retroage. So what happened was, I was a little kid. My mother took me to a steam room in Brighton, the Brighton in Brooklyn, and I saw all these old ladies, and I was looking up at them, and it's just like, oh my God, if that's old people, I'll never be old. So the positivity grew out of the negativity. Yes. Because when I knew that I would become old, I said, I'm going to do something like it. I'm not going to look like one of those steam room ladies. And I don't.
No, fabulous.
And one of the things you do is you like to get your claws on young men like me. Yes?
You're too old for Hattie.
Someone's got it right.
Tell us about your dating, then, because you do date much younger men than yourself.
Yes, I do date. I do date. I would love to have one man. I was married 25 years, and we had wonderful sex. We were in love with each other, and we had a family and a dancing school. But when the children went off to college, the entire dynamic changed. But I thought I'll just go out in the world, meet another man, and then have great sex for the rest of my life. What happened was, I didn't meet one man. I'd meet somebody, go out with them, sleep with them, and then they were gone. And it happened a lot. And I started to bemoan. I mean, it actually got me depressed. I'm with someone, it feels great, and then they're gone. So I decided I'm going to date like a man, meaning I will date several men. If one of them along the way says, Hattie, I want to be with you, I love you, that would be the greatest thing I could hear, but I'm not hearing that.
So you placed an advert, right? You placed an advert, and the advert said, sensational, silken skin, blonde beauty, 55.
Yes.
Seeks unattached...
I was 55 at the time.
Yes. Seeks unattached, non-smoking, super fit, supremely sexual man. There's under 35 here.
Yeah, you're so
As a
way
friend
out.
and a lover, the combination of older woman, younger man is just getting the press it deserves. Let's give ourselves the experience we deserve. And you weren't disappointed, were you?
No, actually, but that ad, let's be clear, that was written when I was 55. So I'm still at it 30 years later. The fascinating thing is the first man that ad pulled, and it was the newspaper. We didn't have, online dating at that time. And he had the same 3 names as my former husband, and he had the same birth date as my former husband, and he was from Israel, but he was 25 years younger.
Well, Hattie, as you say, and that hasn't stopped. I mean, you're now 83 years old. You're still doing online dating. Are you having sexual relations with these young men as well?
Question to ask.
Well, I don't know if you can use the term young anymore, because in those days I was 55 and I had men under 35. But now I specify over 55, but not too much.
That's young. That's young. Yeah. That's okay. So you think my wife's a very lucky woman then, do you?
Well, I'll sit right in her place if she doesn't mind.
And Hattie,
no, I've never had an affair.
Can I ask, who instigates, so when you're dating online, you swipe left or right or whatever you do, and then you meet up. Who kind of instigates, maybe, do you want to come back to my place?
Well, initially, one would think that because of my advanced age, that I would be open, so to speak, to anyone who would be interested in me who was young or handsome. But it doesn't work that way. I have the first dibs on whether or not it's okay for me to be with that man. Men and I'm generalizing, but it's generally true, men can be attracted and desire many women. Women, and me in particular, are very particular about who we're going to go to bed with. So I give them my phone number. I don't want to get into that texting, catfish relationship. I give them my phone number. We talk. We arrange to meet at a bar. I tell them in advance, I may not be attracted to you, and if I'm not, we'll smile, we'll hug, kiss on the cheek, and I'll say good evening. But if I am turned on by you, we'll go up to my apartment. So there's tremendous freedom and confidence in that. Of course, I practice safe sex. And realistically, of course I want, if I'm with a man and I sleep with a man, and the passion is alive and satisfying, of course I would want him to say, Hattie, I want to be with you forever. My former husband said that. But since that isn't happening, I did create a new word, and it's called, tell me what you think of this, a heartectomy.
Heartectomy.
And that is separating my heart from my privates.
So it can be dispassionate, it can be one night. If they never call you again, you just move on.
Right. I can't allow myself to moan and groan about it, which I did initially because I so much desired that one person, and I still do. But I have found every man with whom I've slept to be interesting, engaging, sexually satisfying. I have never had a negative experience. And part of the reason is my integrity. I have never had an affair. I've never messed with a married man. I practice safe sex, and I'm kind. So with those qualities in place, it seems to bring out the best in men, and young men want to satisfy an older woman.
Okay,
I
but
don't
Hattie,
like to have
Hattie,
stereotypes, but yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you this, Hattie. If I was talking to Harry Retroage, if it was, if you were an 83-year-old man talking about dating people 30 and 40 and 50 years younger.
How about 20s?
Well, people would be saying you're
83-year-old men
people
can
would
get
be saying
20-year-old
you're a
men.
dirty old git, basically. So what? I mean, can that be an accusation of you?
That's okay. Call me a dirty old anything. You see who I am, and I'm fine with that, honey.
Listen, Hattie, it's fantastic to talk to you. You look fantastic. You're obviously having a fabulous time. You're doing it safely. We hope you find that special one. You're lovely, and I hope we get to talk to you again. Unfortunately, we have to move on now.
I hope so.
Goodbye from New York from us.
Thank you, Hattie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love her. Love her. What an amazing woman.
Ruth insisted that interview was done via satellite.
Because
you were so worried. She was so worried there.
Listen, competition time.
No, never mind that.
I've got to move on.
You don't have to move on.
I do have to move on.
Well, you remind me of Hattie, and you're not even Hattie's age. I can see you.
I hope I'm like Hattie. I look and have that vibrancy and that lust for life.
Yeah, but the difference is you would be on the dating apps and no one would be interested.
Anyway, here's the
That's what would happen. That's what, face it. That's exactly what happens.